If you're a health economist, you've probably wondered whether AI will eventually replace the technical skill set you've spent years, if not decades, developing. Building cost-effectiveness models from scratch used to be our greatest assets, but now AI is threatening to take that last piece of job security away from us. I wanted to know if that fear is justified, so I tried to build a full economic model using AI and put it to the test against a model I built myself in Excel. By the end of this video, you'll see exactly how they compare. For this experiment, I didn't rely on general-purpose AI tools like Claude, Gemini, or ChatGPT. Instead, I partnered with Baris Deniz, founder of 8 Solutions and sponsor of today's video. After working in health economics for over 20 years, Baris set out to build an AI platform specifically designed for the field. The result was HEORACLE, a tool designed by a health economist for health economists. So I decided to test the platform Baris built. A fair question to ask at this point is, why not just use ChatGPT? What makes HEORACLE different is that certain parts of the model are handled deterministically, like discounting or half-cycle correction, for example. With mainstream AI tools, this kind of code is regenerated each time, which makes results harder to reproduce and verify consistently. On top of that, HEORACLE has built-in guardrails, QC checks, and flags for missing information. All things you don't really get with general-purpose AI tools. At least that's the claim, so of course I had to put it to the test. HEORACLE sits within a wider ecosystem of applications, all designed to work together. But for this video, we are focusing on one thing, and that's modeling. The platform itself is split into 4 modules, each covering a different stage of the model development process. You can move through them step by step or jump directly into whichever part you need to work on. For the comparison later, I'll be using the coding module, but first I wanted to give you a quick overview of how the full system works, starting with Module 1. The goal of Module 1 is to turn your disease context into a structured, citation-ready health economic model concept document. As you can see, you can define the disease, the patient population, and model type here, alongside the country of interest, literature look-back period, and an optional selection of data sources. I've decided to test it for hepatitis delta, as this is a disease area I'm quite familiar with myself. Once you click proceed, 3 cute little AI robots will go to work, running through a sequence of steps to build the model concept. In my testing, it took about 3 minutes to get to this screen, which allows you to review the evidence that was picked up automatically by HEORACLE. At this stage, you have the option to upload additional documents or proceed with the evidence that was identified. After a little over 18 minutes, I got to the results screen of Module 1, so HEORACLE's thinking time seems to be similar to what you might expect when you're using ChatGPT's deep research feature. It was worth the wait though, because HEORACLE came back with a very detailed and plausible model concept. Going through this, there was nothing that really stood out to me as obviously wrong, and the tool managed to pick up all the right context I was expecting. What was also impressive was that the platform flagged a bunch of assumptions for human review, like the extrapolation of treatment effects beyond 48 weeks, for example. And in addition, HEORACLE also presents you with a list of data gaps identified as part of the review, classifying each by their importance while also highlighting where you may use proxies in the absence of data. You also get a full list of references, all with clickable links, so you can verify them individually, which is something that general-purpose AI still struggles with to this day. If you prefer to chat with your model concept instead of doing a manual review, you can use the integrated AI assistant as well. In fairness, the assistant took quite a while to generate a response, but it did come back with a very useful summary for me. Once you've reviewed and amended the model concept to your liking, then you can click on Finalize and download various outputs, all given to you as Word files. I've downloaded the full model concept report so you get a better feel for what it looks like, and as you can see, it includes everything you'd expect from a document like this. Information for patient population, clinical events and health states, interventions, treatment efficacy, safety, costs, utilities, and model structure are all there in a format that you can easily share for a wider review with your team. In Module 2, we then have the choice of using the model concept document we've just created or start from published journal articles instead. For my testing, I proceeded with the document we created just now in the previous model, but I'd note that I left several data gaps unaddressed, which isn't something you do normally. Our blue, orange, and purple friends then process our document, and after about 10 minutes, we are presented with this screen. As you can see, HEORACLE has created a very detailed specification document for us, highlighting both data gaps and assumptions for us to review. If this was a real nice submission, reviewing those assumptions and doing the research to fill our gaps would be a good chunk of work by itself. So please don't fall under the illusion that you can simply just press a button and have a full HTA-ready model available in an hour or so. Instead, think of tools like HEORACLE as a research companion that removes some of the time-intensive tasks, like writing up a 37-page long model specification document, while your job is to ensure that all the assumptions make sense by applying your careful judgment. Looking at the report HEORACLE generated for us, what surprised me the most was that even for a complex disease like hepatitis delta, it managed to come up with a perfectly valid model structure, accurately capturing health states for compensated and decompensated cirrhosis, HCC, as well as liver transplant states. As we move on to Module 3, this is where I switched from hepatitis delta to another example. I wanted to compare against something I've built myself, so I chose a simple oncology model, which I put together in Excel using the assumptions you can see on screen. If you want the full context for how this model was built that we're using for our head-to-head test with HEORACLE, there's a link to the full video in the top right corner. Back in Module 3, you can see that you can choose either to develop a model in Excel or R. Since my oncology model was built in Excel and I wanted to have the fairest comparison possible, that's what I choose. I then gave HEORACLE a markdown file with all the assumptions for the oncology model I built, so our AI has all the required context. Notice how while running the coding module, the AI is sometimes going back a couple of steps. In this case, the module runs a QC check, identifies and fixes an error, and then jumps back to regenerate the formulas for the traces. On top of that, the coding module also runs a number of black box tests. Things like setting all costs to 0 and then checking if the model still runs, or making sure that qualities decrease when mortality doubles. It's really predefined checks like this that give me more confidence to trust the outputs generated by a platform such as HEORACLE, as opposed to using just general purpose AI, where you're completely left guessing what's going on in the background. This kind of transparency also shows up in the results page of Module 3, where the platform self-critically points out that the model failed 5 validation tests. For example, it correctly points out that we're not applying discontinuation rates. And it noticed that we've not set min-max conditions to guard against invalid user inputs for the transition probabilities. But enough with the technicalities. Let's have a look at the actual model that our AI created for us without us lifting a single finger. What we get is a clean Excel sheet with separate tabs for results, settings, transition probabilities, efficacy, costs, and utility inputs. We also get parameter lists, an engine for both treatment A and B, as well as multiple types of sensitivity analysis. All in all, I'd say it's probably not the prettiest model I've ever seen, but its structure is clear and transparent, which I prefer any day over a flashy but incorrect model. For us to truly test if our AI model generates correct results we can trust, let's look at the outcomes of the model I built by hand, modeling it the traditional way like I did since 2018. Our AI model says that drug B is better than A, with an incremental cost of almost £88,000 and an incremental QALYs of 2.467, resulting in an ICER of 35,552. Directionally, these numbers match with the Excel model I built, but how close did we get with the actual numbers? My reference Excel model, which you can download for free via my GitHub, spits out an ICER of £37,036 per query. That's already pretty close, but a 4% difference for a relatively simple example like ours was enough motivation to make me do some further digging. What I noticed was that the qualities were off by quite a bit between the two models, so I jumped to the engine tab and had a closer look at the payoff traces. And then I found the culprit. Turns out my own model had assigned both costs and qualities for the first cycle, whereas the AI-generated model did not. Neither approach is wrong, but initiating your model with a cycle 0 in which patients don't accrue costs and qualities is arguably much more common practice than what I did. So I made the adjustment in my own model and voila, the two ICERs suddenly became almost identical. While there was still some unexplained difference left in the costs and qualities generated with each model, what I find fascinating is that the main decision-making factor matched so closely. It also shows how there's value in a tool like HEORACLE in a way that it acts as a sparring partner for well-trained health economists, causing you or us to question and defend the choices we made with our own modeling. And once you're happy with your model, you can move on to module 4, which allows you to generate a technical report within just a couple of minutes. If you've ever written one of these by hand before, you know how much of a time saver this really is. The report gives you everything you'd expect from a traditional write-up of cost-effectiveness results, including a model overview, results, and sensitivity analysis. In my testing, I found that Module 4 certainly benefits from the additional context that is provided by completing Module 1 and 2, as those will have an impact on the model you generate via the coding agent in Module 3. I must say that after running through the full process of generating a cost-effectiveness model with AI, I feel positively reassured that the technology we have today is not going to replace health economists anytime soon. But that was never really the intention in the first place. I believe that we should think of platforms like HEORACLE as research and execution assistants, not as full replacement tools where all we do is press a button and then get the perfect answer. Human judgment, validation, and quality control is still essential, especially when HTA bodies are as skeptical about AI platforms as they are today. I mean, sure, HTA bodies like NICE have now released guidance on the use of AI for technology appraisals, but the vast majority of all models submitted are still manually built in Excel. And to be honest, I don't really see that changing all too quickly over the next couple of years. So where does a tool like HEORACLE then fit in? I strongly believe that sooner or later, the industry will eventually have to accept these novel approaches. But in the meantime, people like Baris work together directly with HEOR teams of big pharma companies who are willing to test such tools internally first. Eventually, some pharma company needs to be the first to test this in a proper submission, but as we all know, nobody really likes to go first with these things. If this video made you curious to explore HEORACLE in more depth, then get in touch with Baris and I'm sure he'll be more than happy to give you the full tour. There's a link to his website in the video description, so don't hesitate to reach out.